Car of the future took flight today. The X2 flying car, there it is, took off in an unmanned test flight in Dubai. It's a two-seater, electric, and has vertical takeoff and landing like a chopper.
The X2 is described as an important base for the next generation of flying cars.
What if the traffic jams that steal hours from your day could simply become a thing of the past? What if, instead of being trapped on crowded highways surrounded by noise, pollution, and endless delays, you could press a button and rise above it all into the open sky? For decades, that idea existed only in science fiction. Flying cars were the stuff of futuristic movies and impossible inventions that seemed far beyond our lifetime. But now, that future is arriving much sooner than anyone expected. China has introduced a real flying vehicle capable of staying airborne for around 25 minutes while reaching speeds of nearly 80 miles per hour. This is not a concept drawn on a screen or a prototype locked away in a laboratory. It is a fully working machine, and the entire world is watching closely to see if it could become the beginning of a new era in transportation. But before we explore how this incredible technology works and what it could mean for the future, make sure to subscribe to our channel and help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers. Behind this invention lies a much bigger ambition. China is investing heavily in what it calls the low-altitude economy, a future where small electric aircraft, flying taxis, and delivery drones become part of everyday life. The goal is to create an entirely new industry. But the questions are just as important as the technology itself. Can cities really adapt to skies filled with flying vehicles? Will people trust them enough to leave traditional cars behind? Or will this remarkable invention face challenges that no one saw coming? To answer those questions, we first need to understand what this aircraft can do, how much it costs, and whether the world is truly ready for what could become the biggest transportation revolution in history. If you have ever imagined flying inside an unmanned aircraft, that dream is no longer confined to imagination. High above the skies of Guangzhou, a new chapter in transportation is already unfolding. This is the beginning of Xpeng's flying revolution. Modern cities are becoming more crowded every year. Roads remain packed from morning until night, traffic moves at a crawl, and polluted air hangs over the skyline. For millions of people, this frustrating routine has become a normal part of daily life. But what if escaping all of it was as simple as lifting off the ground? That is the question one Chinese company dared to answer. Instead of talking about flying cars as though they belonged in a science fiction novel, they decided to build one. Their answer is the Xpeng X2, a machine that looks as though it has traveled back from a future we once believed was still 50 years away. The Xpeng X2 belongs to a new generation of aircraft known as eVTOLs, short for electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicles. Unlike traditional airplanes, it doesn't require an airport or even a runway. It rises straight into the air from the ground and then flies toward its destination, making it completely different from conventional aircraft. The vehicle is developed by Xpeng Aero HT, the aviation division of the Chinese electric vehicle company Xpeng. Based in Guangzhou, in China's Guangdong province, the company emerged in 2020 with the backing of Xpeng Motors. From the very beginning, its mission has been clear: to build electric flying vehicles for a new form of transportation known as Advanced Air Mobility, or AAM. As one observer explained, it's very good that Xpeng also has chosen to go for zero-emission mobility. So we need to rethink all ways of transport, and this is definitely one of the options that you can see. In simple terms, the company wants to completely transform the way people travel through cities. The world received its first major glimpse of that vision in July 2021, when Xpeng unveiled its fifth-generation flying car during a public event in Shanghai. The unveiling immediately captured attention. Many people had never seen anything remotely similar before. Sleek, quiet, and fully electric, the aircraft made its entrance without the roar of an engine. Instead, it seemed to float effortlessly into the spotlight, giving spectators a glimpse of what transportation might soon become. Looking at the Xpeng X2 for the first time, it's easy to mistake it for an oversized drone rather than a car. Designed to carry 2 passengers, it also provides enough room for a couple of bags, making it practical for short-distance travel. Originally introduced under the name Voyager X2, its appearance is as functional as it is futuristic. The body is shaped like a smooth teardrop, a design that does far more than simply look modern. That aerodynamic shape allows the aircraft to cut through the air more efficiently, reducing drag and helping conserve energy throughout each flight. Its dimensions are surprisingly close to those of a mid-size automobile. The X2 measures 16.97 feet in length, 16.81 feet in width, and stands 4.47 feet tall. Despite its size, it weighs only about 680 kilograms. The aircraft can safely carry a maximum payload of 160 kilograms, including both passengers and any luggage they choose to bring. Keeping the aircraft lightweight required advanced engineering. Its internal frame is constructed from aeronautical-grade aluminum, the same material widely used in modern aircraft, while the exterior is covered with carbon fiber, combining exceptional strength with minimal weight. Above the cabin sit 8 independent rotors, each powered by its own electric motor. This arrangement not only keeps the aircraft balanced during flight, but also provides an important safety advantage. If one rotor were ever to fail, the remaining motors can continue operating, allowing the aircraft to remain airborne. The X2 also stays constantly connected through both 4G and 5G networks, enabling real-time communication and continuous updates while in flight. Performance is equally impressive. The aircraft can travel as far as 75 kilometers on a single charge, providing roughly 30 minutes of flight time while reaching a maximum speed of 130 kilometers per hour. Despite being an aircraft, it has been designed to occupy about the same amount of space as an ordinary car, allowing it to fit inside a standard garage or regular parking space, without the need for specialized hangars or rooftop landing pads. Even on the ground, practicality remains part of the design. By placing 4 small dollies beneath its landing gear, 1 or 2 people can easily push the aircraft wherever it needs to go. For a vehicle capable of taking to the skies, it is surprisingly easy to handle once it has landed. But impressive performance alone is never enough when people are expected to leave the ground. Safety is what truly determines whether a flying vehicle can become part of everyday life. The Xpeng X2 has therefore been equipped with far more than futuristic styling. Its distributed electric propulsion system allows each rotor to function independently, ensuring that if one motor experiences a problem, the others can continue working to maintain stable flight. Multiple backup systems are built into the aircraft to handle unexpected failures, while advanced sensors continuously monitor the surrounding environment in every direction. If necessary, the X2 can even navigate back and perform an autonomous landing on its own, adding another layer of protection to what may become the future of personal transportation. The Xpeng X2 was designed with far more than the ability to fly. Hidden beneath its sleek exterior is an entire network of systems built to keep every journey as safe as possible. It features real-time video streaming, allowing every flight to be monitored as it happens, while ground-based control systems stay connected throughout the journey. A complete 360-degree camera system constantly watches the aircraft's surroundings, giving it a clear view in every direction. And if the unexpected ever happens, an emergency parachute can deploy, providing one final layer of protection when it matters most. Just as impressive is what the X2 leaves behind, or rather, what it doesn't. There is no gasoline engine, no exhaust fumes, and no emissions produced while it is flying. That immediately sets it apart from conventional cars and even many traditional aircraft. Instead of filling the air with noise and pollution, it glides quietly across the sky, leaving nothing but silence behind. For cities already struggling with heavy traffic, smog, and poor air quality, that could become one of its greatest advantages. As urban areas continue to grow more crowded and congested, a cleaner and quieter way of traveling above the streets begins to sound less like science fiction and more like a practical solution. Although flying vehicles are still in their early stages, what XPeng has achieved proves that this vision is no longer just a fantasy. The company is building for a future that seems to be arriving much sooner than anyone expected. Most people imagine the future arriving quietly, but sometimes it announces itself with spinning rotors, glowing lights, and a machine capable of changing the way entire cities move. And while the X2 certainly looks futuristic, its real innovation lies in what it has been designed to do. The XPeng X2 is not intended to be only a personal flying vehicle. Its biggest role is expected to be that of an air taxi, carrying passengers across busy cities by using the sky instead of crowded roads. This is where the aircraft becomes even more remarkable. The X2 offers two completely different ways to fly. Those with the necessary training can take full manual control and pilot the aircraft themselves. But for most people, the autonomous flight mode is where the real transformation begins. Designed specifically for future air taxi services, this mode removes almost all of the complexity from flying. The passenger simply selects a destination, presses a button, and allows the onboard computer to take over. From that moment on, the aircraft handles every stage of the journey by itself, including takeoff, navigation, and landing. There is no need to operate complicated controls or constantly monitor the flight. The entire experience is designed to be as simple and stress-free as possible. Powering that capability is an intelligent flight system that continuously calculates the safest and most efficient route through the air. It does far more than simply fly in a straight line. The system is programmed to understand and follow local aviation regulations, which can vary from one country to another. Whether operating over a city in China or somewhere else in the world, the software is designed to recognize the applicable rules and navigate accordingly. Inside the cockpit, the focus shifts from technology to comfort. Rather than surrounding passengers with confusing controls, the cabin has been designed to feel spacious and inviting. Large windows provide one of the clearest panoramic views available in this class of aircraft, allowing passengers to enjoy an uninterrupted view of the landscape below, instead of peering through small windows. The controls themselves are modern yet intentionally simple, with every instrument positioned for easy access. The overall layout gives the cabin an appearance that feels surprisingly similar to the interior of a small spacecraft. Dominating the cockpit is a large floating display that immediately catches the eye. But this screen is far more than a futuristic decoration. It serves as the central information hub throughout the journey, displaying maps, planned flight routes, altitude, and other important flight information, helping passengers stay informed from takeoff to landing. The X2's potential extends well beyond transporting commuters. It could also reshape the way cities handle many other types of travel. Sightseeing flights could give tourists breathtaking views that simply aren't possible from the ground. Emergency medical transportation could become dramatically faster by flying directly over traffic when every second counts. In cities that seem to grow busier every year, the ability to travel above the congestion may eventually become more than a luxury. It could become an essential part of everyday transportation. Then came the flight that offered the world a glimpse of what the next 50 years might look like. Most test flights happen quietly, attracting little attention outside the aviation industry. But when a sleek electric flying car rises into the sky with Dubai's famous skyline in the background, the entire world notices. In 2022, XPeng took one of its boldest steps yet by conducting the first public test flight of the X2 in Dubai. This wasn't a secret demonstration hidden inside a restricted testing facility. The flight took place in full public view near Skydive Dubai, only a short distance from the iconic Palm Jumeirah. The event was made possible after the Dubai Civil Aviation Authority granted a special permit authorizing the demonstration. The audience reflected just how significant the moment had become. Around 150 invited guests gathered to witness the historic flight, including representatives from the Chinese consulate in Dubai, the Dubai International Chamber of Commerce, the Dubai World Trade Center, other local government authorities, and journalists from media organizations around the globe. As the aircraft slowly lifted off the ground, every eye remained fixed on the sky, watching what many believed could be the first glimpse of a completely new era of transportation. That day in Dubai, the XPeng X2 took to the skies without any passengers inside the cabin. There was no one sitting in the aircraft during the demonstration, but the flight still carried enormous significance. It was not just about proving that the machine could fly. It was about showing the world that this technology was moving closer to becoming a real part of transportation. But before the aircraft ever left the ground, months of careful preparation had taken place behind the scenes. XPeng had to complete a series of strict safety procedures before receiving approval for the demonstration. The company conducted a detailed operational risk assessment in cooperation with the Dubai Civil Aviation Authority. This was not a rushed decision or a simple public display. A dedicated team from XPeng Aero HT worked through every detail. They collected information from the research and development process, studied possible challenges, and used international aviation standards to create a complete operation manual. They also developed a full plan explaining how the demonstration would be carried out safely. Every possible risk was carefully examined. The team looked at what could go wrong and created methods to reduce those risks before the aircraft ever entered the sky. XPeng was not working alone. The Sanad Academy and the Dubai Civil Aviation Authority also played important roles in the process. Together, they created a risk mitigation plan designed to protect every person involved and ensure that every stage of the flight remained controlled. From the moment the aircraft lifted off until the moment it returned safely to the ground, protecting everyone nearby remained the highest priority. Only after the entire plan was reviewed and approved was the final permission granted. The X2 was ready for its public flight. Following the successful demonstration, XPeng revealed more about what the future could look like. The aircraft used in Dubai was only one step in a much larger vision. The company's ultimate goal is to develop vehicles capable of operating as low-altitude city transportation, carrying passengers through urban skies at heights of around 300 feet during normal journeys. However, the X2 itself is capable of reaching much greater heights. Under suitable conditions, it can climb up to approximately 3,200 feet. While its current flight duration is less than 35 minutes, that range is still enough for many short-distance trips within a city. But the Dubai demonstration represented something bigger than just a technical achievement. It offered people a real glimpse into what a future with flying vehicles might actually look like. For years, people have imagined futuristic cities filled with aircraft moving above the streets. But on that day, they were not watching a movie or looking at a computer-generated concept. They were watching a real electric aircraft rise into the sky above a real city. For XPeng Aero HT, the public flight marked a major milestone. It was not only about proving the technology in China or Dubai, it was about showing the world that progress was being made. For the engineers and developers behind the X2, the moment represented years of research, planning, and testing, finally becoming visible to everyone. Several leaders in Dubai viewed the event in the same way. Hassan al-Hashami, the acting director general of Dubai Chambers, said that the X2 represented the type of forward-thinking innovation that has helped define Dubai's development for years. The city has always pushed toward ambitious projects, futuristic designs, and technologies that challenge traditional ideas. To him, the flying car represented more than just a machine. It reflected a spirit of ambition and a willingness to explore what could come next. He described it as a moment that people would remember, one that could influence how cities like Dubai are designed and experienced over the next 50 years. The XPeng X2 was not simply an impressive invention. It represented the possibility of changing how people move, how cities function, and how transportation could evolve. But the Dubai test flight was not the end of the journey. It was only one major step forward. The dream of flying cars had moved beyond sketches, concepts, and laboratory experiments. It had entered the real world, flying above an actual city in front of actual people, from prototype to licensed flight. In 2023, the XPeng X2 reached another important milestone. This time, it was no longer just a demonstration or a test flight. It became official. The X2 became the first manned electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicle, known as an eVTOL, to receive a flight license in China. The approval came from the Civil Aviation Administration of China through its Central and Southern Regional Authority. For everyone following the development of the X2, this was a major achievement, but it also represented something much larger than a single aircraft. It connected to China's broader vision for transforming the skies below 1,000 meters into a new economic space known as the low-altitude economy. You may not hear this term every day, but it is expanding rapidly. The low-altitude economy includes everything from delivery drones and aerial taxis to other types of small aircraft operating close to the ground. As regulations become clearer and technology continues improving, more companies are entering this growing field. The concept behind this new economy is simple. The airspace close to the ground is no longer seen as empty space. It can become a new transportation network. It can move passengers, deliver goods, support agriculture, and help emergency teams reach places that are difficult to access by traditional methods. This layer of the sky is slowly becoming a new type of highway, not just for hobby drones, but for commercial transportation. In China, this emerging industry is being viewed as a powerful economic opportunity. Officials estimate that the low-altitude economy could reach a market value of around 3.5 trillion yuan by 2035. That prediction is supported by more than just ambition. Government policies are being developed, investors are showing interest, and engineers are creating the technology needed to make this future possible. The momentum behind the industry continues to grow. China's push into this field is part of a larger global movement. Around the world, companies and governments are exploring low-altitude transportation, but China has been moving especially quickly. In recent years, technology has advanced, cities have begun opening potential air routes, and the sky is gradually becoming a new kind of transportation network. One major reason behind this growth is the rapid improvement of artificial intelligence. Smarter systems are allowing drones and electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicles to operate with greater accuracy and safety. Human-machine interaction has also improved, making it easier for people to control these vehicles or allow autonomous systems to manage flights themselves. At the same time, more industries are becoming involved. Battery manufacturers, electric motor developers, software companies, and agricultural technology firms are all finding opportunities in this expanding market. Each industry contributes another important piece to the larger vision of an interconnected low-altitude transportation system. So, what do you think about the rise of the low-altitude economy? Do you see it as a helpful step toward the future, or do you think it could create new challenges? Share your thoughts in the comments. Meanwhile, XPeng Aero HT is continuing its journey. With the X2 now officially licensed, the company is preparing for the next stage: more manned flight testing, more data collection, and eventually moving closer toward large-scale production. The license was not the final destination. It was another step forward on a much longer path toward making flying vehicles a normal part of everyday life. XPeng's land aircraft carrier, XPeng wasn't finished surprising the world. After introducing a flying car, the company returned in 2024 with something even more ambitious: a machine that looked like it belonged in a future where roads and skies were no longer separate. This time, XPeng revealed a completely new concept called the land aircraft carrier. Despite the name, it has nothing to do with ships or oceans. Instead, it combines two completely different forms of transportation into one bold creation: a powerful road vehicle and a flying aircraft working together as a single system. The idea is simple but futuristic. One machine travels across the ground, while the other can launch into the sky whenever needed. The entire system is divided into two main parts. The first part is the ground vehicle, which XPeng refers to as the aircraft carrier, or the mothership. And this is not a small transport vehicle. It is a massive six-wheel machine built on 3 axles, measuring around 5.5 meters long, 2 meters wide, and 2 meters tall. Its size puts it beyond most traditional vans, giving it a much more aggressive and powerful presence. The design sits somewhere between a futuristic minivan and a rugged vehicle with the bold attitude of something like the Tesla Cybertruck. But despite its large size, XPeng focused on keeping the appearance clean and modern. The body features a boxy shape, with smooth curves flowing from the windshield toward the roof. Flush door handles blend into the side panels, while strong plastic protection around the lower body gives it a tougher appearance. One unusual detail stands out immediately: there are no visible side mirrors. This suggests that the vehicle is still in development, and that the final production version may look different. Underneath the body, the land aircraft carrier uses an advanced power system known as EREV, or Extended Range Electric Vehicle Technology. It operates on an 800-volt high-voltage platform, but the engine inside does not directly power the wheels. Instead, it works like a generator, producing electricity that feeds the electric motors and recharges the battery system. With this setup, XPeng claims the vehicle could achieve a driving range of up to 1,000 kilometers, giving it the ability to travel long distances before needing to recharge. But the real attention comes from the second part of the system: the aircraft itself.